Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the MechBay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. Let's get this antique on the road show. What's going on, Mechwarriors? I'm your host, Josh. I've got my co-host, Lore Master Denim.
Howdy, howdy.
And Paint Bay's own Dustin with me today.
Dropship fell over.
Again.
And y'all just been picking up pods like the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
who loaded that thing?
Couches on the wall again. It just lives there for now.
Artwork all over the place. Got to rehang it. Yeah.
Would it be better to just like live on like an arc ship, like a Skyfox arc ship? They got drop pods. Some of them, as I've learned, are 0G.
If we could shut off the gravity, moving would be so
much easier.
I would be a fan.
Yeah, if the dropship was in orbit instead, yeah, but it would have been much easier.
But it's not. It's on one of those high G planets right now.
I had to
My
use
arms,
those.
I cannot lift my arms above like eye level.
You've been working overhead actuator duty.
Oh yeah, exactly. Those upper arm actuators and shoulders are shot. I need them replaced.
Yeah.
But the fans look good. The painting looks good. We're in the home stretch.
Skyfox, we're happy to sell you that dropship.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you all don't know, we are the MechBay Podcast, your number one source for all things casual to competitive battle tech. And today, we're just going to spend like the next hour and some unpacking the podcast. Because these two haven't had time to put battle tech on their brains.
I have not. That's right. It's all been dropship reassembly.
I do have a bunch of BattleTech artwork scattered around on the floor while I'm trying to figure out exactly where I'm going to hang it. But yeah,
There's a new room in the dropship just for BattleTech.
yeah.
Wargaming. All right. My other half was very happy to learn that the poster size photos printouts that I got from Southern Assault will not be in the living room anymore or our bedroom anymore. They were in the bedroom. They were not in the living room. That was not allowed. But
Yeah. I've got an upgraded office and all that stuff goes in here. All of it.
nice.
Oh, you, Josh, where do you hang your BattleTech posters?
Oof.
Right?
It hurts. It
I've
hurts.
been to your place. I know where they are.
Oh, man. I don't have a single BattleTech thing on the walls.
You do not.
I have both issues of the Big Guy and Rusty comic, and that's it. Oh, and one like 6-foot life-size painting of a luchador. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers.
The Big Guy and Rusty.
Yeah. Wait. Okay. So that's how you know, like, Josh's brain is like only mech.
Yeah. What is this? I see. Oh yeah. There's a little mech and a little boy. Big Guy and Rusty. That's Rusty, isn't it? Is Big Guy the little guy, or is Big Guy the big guy?
Okay.
Give me 10 minutes and I will derail anything.
Yeah.
Not even 10 minutes. How far are we?
Like,
3 minutes and 34 seconds. I have a special power.
I'm gonna say, because you're there. What's the year on Big Guy and Rusty? And then we gotta find the year on Mech Commander.
The year on Big Guy and Rusty, 1999 to 2001, March 5th.
And
Network
Mech Commander
Fox Kids.
2 is 2001. So probably Big Guy and Rusty got me first, and then I found Mech Commander. So we're gonna say that's one of those like core memories of just like, I want the most American, like over the top American guy riding a mech with Gatling guns in his arms that fold out. I'm like, yeah, I can see why Josh would do that. Yeah, okay. But we're gonna move on from that.
I'm looking at Big Guy and Rusty artwork.
The artwork's great. Like, we're already G-railed, so I'm just gonna stay with it. Artwork's great. Denim, Big Guy and Rusty, yes, no. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so this is our generation. I'm holding on to it even tighter now.
I mean, Mech Commander, yes, but I've
he does have Gatling guns in his arms. Look at that.
Yeah.
Neat.
He's a mech. He's a mech, and his sidekick is a robot.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's I think World War III alternate history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed this one. I missed this part of the zeitgeist, so I might have to look into it. It looks cool.
The cartoon, it's one of those things that didn't age well, but it's just really iconic. Like once you watch it, it gets stuck in your brain.
There you go. Oh boy. So where were we at? What were we doing today, Josh?
Oh man. Well, we had an episode planned and I realized none of our brains could process handling how to use this specific rules topic that we planned. So we're just going to say that for episode 69 and it'll fit better there anyways, like most things do.
Yeah. It's always better that way.
That's what she said.
So I thought we might just talk about all the things that have happened in literally the last week.
Yeah, a lot's gone down.
That's good because I have not. I've had my head in boxes, so I actually am not up on every little bit that happened.
I listened to the bulk of the Ray live stream.
The live streams, yeah.
And a tiny bit of there was a game being played and a tiny bit. And
I did have some of that on in the background, but it was...
I have yet to watch a wargaming live stream that I like. Nothing against this particular live stream. So I only dipped in and watched like 3 minutes of the guys, the developers, line developers and stuff playing Battletech. But
yeah, if it's classic, I would say it should be a nicely edited video if you're going to watch a classic game online.
Any bat rep. But anyways, neither here nor there. A lot of news, a lot of Adepticon happened, right? We've got lots of things to talk about. Lots of things for us to catch up on because we're out of the loop. Yeah.
I remember just sending it to you and like you were like, wait, this happened? And I was like, yes, it's happening now. But first off, I need to thank Cataphract 40 on the MechBay Discord who really did all the ground reporting for this. We're going to credit them because we love them.
Thank you, Cataphract.
Thank you.
And all the pictures from Kerenskycon that you really found anywhere, like on Reddit, that's them. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. People were passing the pictures back to me and we were like, no, they started with this person. They started with Cataphract. So where do we want to start with Kerenskycon? So what is Kerenskycon? Like we talk about it, but
yeah, Kerenskycon is the dedicated convention for people who bought the Kerensky
full Kerensky tier.
The full Kerensky tier, which is $5,000. And they are lucky enough to get 2 of everything published this year. Wow. Like every mech, every mini, every box set, every everything, they get 2 of. And they also get an invite to Kerenskycon, which happens right before Adepticon, where they get to talk to the who's who and rub shoulders, elbows with all the cool people and see all the nifty things that may or may not come out this year.
So it's old news at this point, but there was like a Kerenskycon leak, right?
Yes. It was intentional leak. Well, it was intentionally
wait.
put.
I'm sorry.
About the same leak?
No, we're not, because I was wrong. It wasn't a Kerenskycon leak. It was a Randall Bills Instagram post that leaked the Urban Mech Lamb box.
The Urban Mech Lamb, yes. Yes.
You zoomed in on the grainy, part. You're like,
enhance.
But yes, then there's the Kerenskycon leak that was not actually a leak.
So let's just start at the Urban Mech Lamb. So that was the big secret, as you said. Somebody didn't take OPSEC is all I'm saying. What's in the back of this photo? the nuclear launch codes.
It's a thing I have to do now. I take a picture to send to people and I'm like, I take the picture and I start zooming in on stuff. I'm like, wait, the back of my house is in this photo. I have to look. Is there a weird book on top of that shelf? No. Okay, let me look at this part. Is there mail sitting on the table? No mail. Okay. There's an instruction manual for what? Oh, the wireless speaker. Okay, that's okay. This passes OPSEC. We can fire this one off onto the internet.
I want one of those lamb boxes a lot. I want an Urban Mech Lamb.
Oh gosh. So are you going to paint up like Superman? Your super lamb?
No. But it's funny to me that in air mech mode, it can finally go the speediness of 6'9". Like, woohoo! I'm fast now.
So bad.
It's like the butterfly from Ants. No, A Bug's Life.
The Bug's Life is butterfly.
Okay.
Fun fact. We're already derailed. I'm just gonna stay with it. My wife apparently grew up in an ant's house, and I grew up in a Bug's Life house, and that's one of those intrinsic we look at each other and it's like, we can't relive. Neither of us can watch either of the movie because the other one hates the other one.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I watched them both when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. Oh, they both came out like so close together.
Very close together. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, strap in, listeners. This is what you're getting this episode.
Yeah, we might as well be drunk. None of us are drinking, but we might as well be drunk.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, brother?
That's a truly, dude. That does not count. Truly is not. No.
We're drunk on exhaustion.
Yeah, that's the better one. Let's talk about Urban Mech Lambs.
Okay.
Let's talk about why it exists. Like, I know that it's a Bishop Steiner like fan art that they decided to make real. But us as a community, should we stand for an Urban Mech Lamb pack?
Absolutely. I'm gonna own one and I'm gonna put it on the table.
You can go back into the what do you call it?
The archives.
The archives of the MechBay podcast, and you can find every time I mention the word Urban Mech, and I will talk about my hatred for it, except for the Aero 4 Alpha Strike version.
Which you've taken to 2 tournaments.
Yes. That is the only version of the Urban Mech that I find remotely useful. The rest of them are trash.
But if you have the nuke version and it turns into an aerospace fighter, then it can just fly to wherever it wants to explode.
But don't lambs like suck?
Lambs do suck.
But Urban Mechs also suck, and
it's just a
2
suck
wrongs
fest.
don't make a right, but 3 lefts do. So you're gonna add it all together, and
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the like. This could have been anything else.
I mean,
it couldn't have.
It's fun. Like
I'm gonna get one.
It's fun. Yeah,
I'm probably gonna get 2.
It's fun. It's the April Fool's thing.
Yes,
but I'm like. Literally anything, literally any other product would have brought me more joy as a pure tabletop playing person.
I'm using it on the table. I'm not just getting it to paint up. I am going to use it on
Denham's
the table.
putting it in a scenario.
I am. Yeah. That's the beauty of me running the campaigns is I get to choose.
Yep. Bring in the wireless speakers, start playing Flight of the Valkyries.
Yes.
Urban Mech Lance of Lambs flies in from the edge of the board.
Flies in it at max speed of 9.
I will say 2 things. This forces us to actually do the Lamb-sode. Teach everyone how to operate a land air mech that we've had probably on ice for like a year.
If I can't get my hands on a box, then I'm going to be too mad and to do an episode. So we will only do it if I can get my hands on a box.
They will come. They will come.
I will say, actual model wise, you get Urban Mech in mech mode, air mech mode, and aerospace fighter mode, and the smoke is actually detachable, so you can still detach and put it on whatever.
But it's an Urban Mech, so it's going to be smoking no matter what mode it's in.
Does the mech mode Urban Mech Lamb look different? Does it have like Gundam wings sticking out of the back of it or whatever? Or is it just a regular?
I didn't get a good enough look.
They are on it, but retracted. And then it goes to air mech mode, and that's when they extend out. So they are there, but they're not like fully like it does do a little transformation. Not the model itself, but
right.
And don't get me wrong, Dustin. It's not like I'm only bringing an Urban Mech because it's a lamb. People who play against me know that I am not afraid to bring an Urban Mech, and I'm actually pretty deadly with them. I've gotten quite a few kills with Urban Mechs.
What you gonna do with that small laser? Right. The lore is deep. The Urban Mech lore is unfortunately deep. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other Urban Mech Lamb news?
No.
I do have an Urban Mech that has a cowboy hat, though. I do have that one.
Oh, just like that illustration from the...
it's right out of that illustration. I have that mini.
With that Jade Falcon winged mech flying around in the background. The Eerie, is it the Eerie? The one without arms?
Yeah. I will say, my other thought is like, this is the 3rd Urban Mech physical product. Like, I'm tired, Grandpa. Like, give me something else. Like, make another meme. Like,
it's the meme, man. You can't fight It's like
make the
screaming
Atlas
into the void.
Steiner Scout Lance box.
You know, you're going to get the Urban Mech Company box.
We already
Urban
have
Mech
one.
I know.
All right.
Right. So what else at Kerenskycon? It had to have been more than just an Urban Mech Lamb. Right?
Oh man, I mean, we saw them playing the new BattleTech Command.
Yeah, Command. I have one of those on order.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they got to play that. It was fun.
Cool.
They said it was fun. So
Bring the IP into like the casual board game crowd. You might get some converts that way. That's cool.
I think everyone wants like the BattleTech Risk. Like,
Hey, the more stuff we get out there, the more the closer we'll get to BattleTech Monopoly and another TV series.
Yeah. Brand saturation is a thing. Like,
I
look
would
at
buy.
Warhammer.
I hate
you know?
Monopoly. I am not a Monopoly player. I would 100% buy BattleTech Monopoly just because it's.
It would be the
BattleTech.
one I owned. Sure.
I own the Star Wars one, so I would have the Star Wars one
Oh.
and the BattleTech one.
There you go. There you go.
we got to see the new BattleTech map, like the big fold out,
Mhm.
like put on the wall map. Did y'all see that it's 3058 on one side and 3051 on the other side?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
3058.
3058 and 3051, not current.
I didn't know
anything.
we had pushed to 58 yet.
30,
That seems-
I like how we-
or 3158.
The front side is 3058 and the back side is 3151.
Oh,
31.
shoot.
Okay, that I thought
Okay.
you said 3051 and 30.
No. Let's roll back that tape.
Yeah,
folks.
roll back that tape. I
So,
can't roll it
hold on.
back.
Is it 3158?
It's 3058 and 3151.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
3151. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
that
I
makes
was like,
more
I feel like we've only pushed into 3152 in the literature I've been reading.
Right.
But some of the fun things I see from the map is like you've got Raven Alliance has
Mhm.
actual like space. You've got the weird Karita like tail going to New Avalon. So like the map is like that's still there. Like the Davians didn't take it back.
No, they're not going to
Mm.
take it back.
No, I know that,
Karita,
but it's like
Karita. Mm.
you got
Wait,
Clan-
New Avalon?
Yeah.
Davians
Honor the
definitely.
Dragon.
They take it back.
I mean, they take it back, but like
It's in the book.
but it's
Yeah, but the book for what year?
Yeah, past 3151 or
Yeah,
whatever.
that didn't happen then.
Oh, okay.
they need a month on this map. That's the problem. But you got
Sure.
Clan Hell's Horses on the map. You got like the Hinterlands. The Hinterlands is like a whole big section. Like that's actually pretty cool in my book. But yeah, I'm just like this. This is cool. I enjoy seeing this. This is nice.
I have an Inner Sphere map on my wall, and I will pull that one down and put up a new updated one.
I'm gonna take this to work and put it on my new wall. They're gonna be like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's a map. Have you ever seen one?" But anyway, so we got the map. We did see the new challenge coins. I will say
The red
they
ones.
look so much better than the original Clan Invasion Kickstarter ones.
I don't know about the red yet. I really don't.
I like the red. I like so these are red.
Oh, the red and gold coins?
Yeah, red background color and then gold other color. Like I actually really like those a lot more.
Than the gold and black ones that we got in
Yeah.
the first Kickstarter.
Hey, who's got bingo for denim does not like something BattleTech?
Oh,
Yeah, right. I prefer the black. I also prefer the black and gold ones more than the. I saw the picture of this new one. What is?
I mean, did I buy a bunch of them? Yes, I did. But
and if I don't like this, I'll take 12.
let's be real. I got them, but I like the black ones a lot.
Yeah, I see like is there a quick draw on here? Oh, that's a Word of Blake mech right there. If I ever saw
Yeah,
one.
that's the so all of the factions have like a faction mech on it. So like on one side
yeah.
it's the emblem, the other side's a faction mech.
Oh man, can we talk about the Word of Blake mechs yet? Are we there yet?
We're not there yet.
Adepticon?
You hold your
Okay.
horses.
Okay.
You hold your hells.
Okay.
I will say in that picture they do have the non-challenge coin emblems. Like
Mhm.
those look great. Like those all like the color of the Sea Fox that I'm looking at. It's
Oh,
perfect. Eridani Light Horse. That's a nice crisp yellow. Like the swag, I'm actually continually
with the
impressed
sphere,
by
yeah.
the quality that I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So like it kind of is reassuring to know like the swag was good last time. There were some problems with some things. This year I feel like they took a lot more time and attention to the swag.
People like swag. I mean,
People like
people like
swag.
stuff. They just like stuff.
We're just humans. We just like our little shiny things.
We do.
I just want things.
I just want stuff. Feels the void, if only for a moment.
All right. What else did we see? We saw a dedicated BattleTech carrying case.
I know. The first time I saw that was in that picture you sent. And I'm like, what
camo?
is that? It looks like a case you'd carry like your PS5 in or something like that.
I mean, I would love to upgrade my like generic medical device case that's filled with hand cut foam that I've been using since my BattleTech career started with this like beautiful.
Yeah, but this is for like books and stuff. I wouldn't.
It's not for minis?
Maybe you could put some in there, but the picture has it open and it has like a place for books and a place for dice and a place for
I see the
stuff.
next photo. Yeah, it has. Aw.
It had multiple sections. I only sent the one of the big stuff.
Okay.
Oh, was there a place for mechs then?
I don't know.
Here's a full size book. It's kind of in that slot, but not all the way.
Well, it looks like it's being propped up so you could see it.
That would make sense if you
It'd
could
be weird to show a picture of look, a book almost fits in this slot. That'd be really weird.
If you could put a rule book and a lance, that'd be great for classic. Or up to a level.
Have your dice, your mechs, and your book your books all in there. That would be super cool.
Yeah, you guys have seen me with I wore out that janky yellow bag, and my wife sewed me up out of old pants I destroyed like a bigger bag, and I put my bag in that bag, and I put my books in there and my record sheets, and it's got a pocket for my dice. And if it was all a nice little pre-made foam thing, that'd be cool. I'm into this.
Everyone wants a dedicated mech. The case is
game
all
night
we want.
case. Yeah.
Like bags. Everyone's kind of like I've got a new bag and I'm like in love with it like that. But the case, I need the dedicated case. Mechs aren't uniform size. But so they also got to look through their Force Manual Davion and Force Manual Karita books while they were there. I only heard good things. That's the problem. I don't want to because things may change. They're still not fully done.
Are they? It sounded to me like they're 50% like faction primer and 50% codex, which I guess codexes are also that.
Codexes are like 60 to 70% lore.
You're right.
Like that is where you got your faction lore.
That's true.
If we're talking Warhammer 40,000, the codex is lore
with a little bit in the bag
and a little bit of
that's fair. That's
rules.
Totally fair. You're right. And I'm cool with that. I've unironically been saying for literally years that I would love Alpha Strike BattleTech codexes.
Oh yeah, it's been talked about a lot when people are like, "Oh, I'm interested in I don't know what faction I want. Where can I find information about each faction?" And they're looking for a codex. Like they're very much so looking for that.
The 10,000-pound gorilla in the room has trained us all to look for codexes. It's good for onboarding the new blood. Maybe we can get enough market cap and I don't know, create new trends and shit like that. That'd be cool.
But they got to see, of course, all the Kickstarter minis that are still coming.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then they got to
catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Then they got to play some BattleTech Encounters, the dice game.
Okay, so the fun story about that, I'm sure everybody's heard.
I haven't heard. Tell me.
You haven't heard?
No.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that the backers of the Kickstarter are getting, certain tiers get this Encounters thing, and they're supposed to see it first.
Yeah.
Apparently the distributor.
They shipped it out?
Yeah, it's at Barnes & Noble. Like right now.
Just go buy it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Some of them. They didn't ship like all the product.
Okay.
They ship some. It's like some.
I thought they weren't going to stop it. I thought they're just like
they can, but not all. Not as far as I'm aware. Not every Barnes and Noble has it. Now I'm going to Barnes and Noble.
Well, our local Barnes and Noble, the one closest to me, doesn't have any BattleTech stuff. But the one that's further down the road has tons. So
I'll have to check my local place out and see if I can get the Encounter. How's the game? I don't know what a push your luck dice game is. Has anybody ever played any of those?
I've got a push your luck dice game that I really, really liked about zombies and brains and stuff like that. It's called Zombie Dice.
Okay.
And it's basically you roll and you look at your dice and some of them give you points. And like there's one on each die that will just murder you. And so you get to decide how many dice that you keep rolling and you could get more and more points. But if you get one of those things, you're out. And
so it's a dice pool. It's a dice pool game.
Yeah, it's a push your luck dice. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what Encounters is, because there's a lot of variations of that, but that's the one I played and liked. So I am interested in a portable, fun, let's just we're waiting for our food to show up and me and the kids pull out some Battletech Encounters dice and push our luck. I'm down with that.
Because we're all secretly trying to indoctrinate our children.
100%.
Okay, it's saying the Barnes & Noble across the street from me has it, so I guess
go get it, man.
But not all of them have it, according to the Barnes & Noble website. So it's
I mean, I'm just going to wait a little bit, and one will show up on my doorstep.
That's true. I opted out.
I like how the BattleTech Kickstarter is 100% something that if you back 100%, you're gonna regular people are gonna get this before you. Don't get everything.
It happens.
You got to gamble. Do I want this guaranteed on this date, or do I want to see if I get it earlier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm waiting for the day. I didn't buy into the Kickstarter. You all heard me talk about it a year and a half ago, and I was like, I will be a sad puppy when it ships, and that day is coming. Yeah. And then
the Encounters, I could go out and buy it this weekend and then just take the one that I get and give it to someone as a present too. Mm. So I'm not saying that there's a 0 chance that that's going to happen.
I need to play it now.
I mean, if I'm out this weekend and I happen to be near a Barnes & Noble, am I going to go over there specifically to look for it?
Yes.
Yeah. Pop in and check in and see, That says unavailable for pickup in store. Anyways.
So we got that. So that's pretty much all of the main stuff that I have, except this one thing. And out of all that, this is the one that my brain latched onto.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to the thing that everyone's thinking of, but this is what my brain was locked onto. Everyone's like, Josh, you're forgetting one thing. No, I'm
forgetting
not.
The big thing.
I'm looking at the force building battlefield support assets primary variants sheet that we get in this wonderful box of Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah, what is this? Battlefield
This
support
is all
strikes.
all the vehicles that come with this will have BSP cards, battlefield support cards. And this is all the Kickstarter and the clan invasion thing. Those had the heavy card stock, this is your movement table, this is your cluster table, this is your PSR table, that heavy reference sheet.
Yeah.
This one has the BSP reference sheet.
I'm down with that.
And these have the adjusted points. So all BSPs got standardized because they were oh crap, we can't have airstrikes being this different cost, different currency.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost. Right. They're all called the same thing, but it's, you can't do that. You can't. You're just asking for confusion.
Yeah. So now all costs are one. The BSP cost. That is what it is now.
That is okay.
But you know what they have with that on that sheet that my brain instantly locked onto? We got BV equivalent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The BV equivalents next to the
BSPs now have a BV cost.
Now you can
for these vehicles.
Is it still 20 to 1 now?
Yeah. Onto 640 BV, 32 BSP. It's yep. Okay. So it's been settled on. That's that. It just helps my brain know that hey, we've locked in. This is the cost now. Because that was in beta for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
it changed a little bit every now and again.
And it changed, and we never saw what they actually turned into.
Yeah, once it was up to 100 to 1, and I'm that's not going to work.
That's not right.
But 20
I could buy,
seems to be pretty good.
I could buy 3 of the regular ones for the price of this.
Minor support, moderate, heavy, and maximum support. You know what's really interesting about the backside of this card to me?
What?
That Atlas head logo. I've never seen that before.
You're right.
That is, to me, to my eye, that's new. Then that's like an Atlas 3, right?
That appears to be
or
an
Atlas 2.
As we all go to Sarna. Sarna, help me.
Sarna.
Help me, Sarna.
It kind of looks like an Akuma almost to me.
Yeah, it's got more
could be
wing ears.
No, it's not Akuma because it has the satellite dish, not the bat ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Akuma was supposed to be an answer to the Atlas anyway,
Yes.
so it's it's all related.
Yeah, it reminds me of a Clicky Tech Atlas, which I think is the Atlas 3.
That is the Atlas 3. That is correct. The Clicky Tech one.
Could it be an Atlas 2?
No, it's not an Atlas 3. It doesn't have ears.
a 2, because a
Let me
2,
look.
Because they put one in a box set, like one
the
of the recent
2
box sets.
is in Rec Guide 24.
Oh, the 2, that's totally the 2.
It's got a
the
radar
ears.
dish and it's got ears.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's just an interesting little branding touch that I haven't seen, the little Atlas 2 on there. Because in the books you get the Atlas face in between chapters and stuff like that, or paragraph breaks. So neat. That jumped out to me. Cool.
Good eyes, Dustin. Good eyes.
That was Kerenskycon. Nothing else happened. Let's move on.
Nothing else happened. Nothing else. There was
happened.
no
There's no other
thoughts.
teaser. No other.
I'm gonna just pass the torch. Who wants to talk about it?
About Adepticon?
No,
about the
Adepticon.
big thing.
Oh,
What do we want to call this? Because I don't want to call it the leak. I don't want to call it
The roadmap.
I don't want to even call it the roadmap. I want to call
Really?
it the brainstorm.
Okay.
I want to call it the brainstorm because these things, they literally said after as a follow up, these change on a daily basis.
I mean, what it's like, don't give me hope. That's how I feel with some of them.
Yeah.
Which
one of these? So first off, this is the leak / roadmap / brainstorm of all products for like the next 2 years, really.
Yeah. All the force boxes kind of.
Force boxes they might think up right on a napkin, like we should do a Jade Falcon box set, and everyone's like, "Yeah, what's going to be in that?"
Go in that?
And then they have to think about what's going to go in it.
There's a Proto Mech one on there. There's a Celestial series box on there. I mean, there's just lots of exciting possibilities. What popped out to me is definitely the Celestials box, because I'm. Say what you want about Clicky Tech, but I do appreciate an aesthetic.
Yeah.
We have intro tech stuff. We have the classic mechs. They have a similar aesthetic. And I really appreciate the Dark Age Draconis Combine stuff. The sculpts are great. They have personality. Same thing with the bird mechs. So the Celestials, I feel like are there any other cohesive outside of industrial mechs? Do those even count? There's 3 series. There's Jade Falcon mechs, there's the Celestial series, and then there's the Dark Age era.
No, you're pretty much right.
I think that's it.
Like the Celestials are the most iconic in their own bubble.
They have their own there's a word for what I'm looking for.
Culture,
their
style.
aesthetic.
Yeah. You can't take a Celestial and put it in another thing and it looked like it belonged.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't even want to go through. I know some people are going to go through all that, but I don't want to really even go through all.
No, we don't need to break it down.
Yeah, no. But
you guys can find the picture on the internet and get hyped about it. But yeah, Celestials jumped out to me. Josh, was there one that jumped out to you? I have a feeling.
I hate you so much.
You've just only been into it recently.
The Society Force Pack with premium Hobgoblin Protomechs. I was like, it's so outlandish. My brain is triggered that no.
This is experimental adjacent.
Yeah, there's 3 Society players out there. I know 2 of them.
I actually know one.
Yeah,
not personally, but I know of a Society player on the internet.
Exactly. So it's no, don't make this box. Just send those people $60 and say, pick another faction, please. I will say, none of these mechs that I saw, none of these packs said were out of left field to me. They were all things that I was like, oh, they're finally going to get around to making a plastic one of this.
Yeah. Which is good. I like my plastic versions of those things, like the resculpts, the Scroggin sculpts.
I will say, I did chuckle at the premium. Some of them had a sign make this a premium miniature, and the one that I saw besides the Hobgoblin Protomax. I was like, please don't do that. Was a Blitzkrieg, because the Blitzkrieg has like one variant, and it's just Ultra AC-20
on legs.
It's such a weird looking mech.
Yeah.
Too. It really, really is.
The frog-legged one.
Yeah.
I first encountered that with the what's that one scenario pack? The wolf in the dragon or something like that. It's this whole. It was like at the beginning of the early Chaos campaign stuff, and so it was. I remember looking at it, going, "A Blitzkrieg? What is that?" And I looked up. I'm like, "There's no way.
It's gun on leg."
Yeah. Well, they were selling like the metal mini packs for that, so you could get the Sorensen sabers and the Fox's teeth, individual packs of the metal mechs, and it was in there. It was crazy.
I mean, right now, just because I'm gonna literally add a Blitzkrieg to my Fortress Miniatures and Games cart, because like, you know what? No, I don't believe y'all. I don't trust CGL to give me a premium Blitzkrieg. I'll take my bad looking model from 2008 now.
I'm going to buy a Triskelion just because.
Oh, I have like a Hera or something I haven't even built yet.
Do we want to just move on to hobby progress now and talk about things we haven't built?
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's talk hobby progress. Dustin, you sound like you want some hobby progress in your life.
Yeah, what have I done since it's been a while? I tidied up some paint jobs on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you finish those Infinity things?
I finished those Infinity things. I had a collection of
your brain. Like I'm looking at you, and you just look like. Thinking about painting, just like your brain had to reboot.
Yeah, I scheduled that tournament before I knew I was going to move or buy a house.
Oh.
And that tournament was not the weekend I moved, but the next one.
Right.
That's even worse.
And I was like, I looked at my collection of what I had painted, and I'm like, what can I spend 5 to 10 minutes on and get up to snuff to be able to, because I'm a stickler for painted at tournaments. It's got to be fully painted. And that dictated some really janky list shenanigans. That's
janky list.
And I had a thing I had to paint because I committed to painting a prize support model. Did I show
you? Yeah, you did.
That mech looking, the Gundam looking mech thing. It's called a Jodam or Yodam, but whatever. The purple and blue one. But yeah, that's I painted that too. So,
and you had so much fun painting that, didn't you?
I did. I got to. That was
you weren't painting thinking about like the time crunch of literally your entire life all at once.
I ended up there because I was like, I have to get this. I made this commitment, so I had to get
you made a commitment. You got to do it.
I had to do it.
I respect that.
And I had a lot of fun. I was playing with. I was like, oh, this is blue. Cool. I've painted blue. How do I try to push myself somewhere I'm not comfortable, because this is not my mini, and that means it's time to experiment. So I thought to myself, what if instead of the sun being an Earth sun, it was like a magenta sci-fi sun? So I tried magenta highlights on a blue base, and it just
now your
ended
PPCs are purple.
Exactly. And it reads as iridescent to everybody else. They're like, whoa, it's a cool iridescent paint job. And I'm like, fascinating. Not what I was going for, but I see where you're coming from. So
whatever works, man. Whatever works.
So that's what I did. I did some touch up and I painted that thing, and I had some fun. And everything is also secretly a test drive for, next year's paint scheme. So
nice.
Just take what's already painted, man. Just accept that you're going to win first best painted, and just,
we'll see.
You do you, Dustin. Paint more stuff.
I'm going to try. Everything feels incredibly overwhelming right now, but I'm just crawling out of the hole. I'm just crawling out. So that was my hobby progress. I'll probably be fine.
I will say, because I completely skipped over it, new painting box set revealed at Adepticon.
Right.
Yeah, the mercenary one.
Oh yeah, I forgot, because
Army painter, right?
I was like, nothing came at Adepticon. That was boring. Oh wait, there's this new painting thing.
Does it say Fanatic on the box anywhere? Is this their new formula? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Let me check, because I actually did download the pictures of it.
You got the pictures?
I did see pictures.
Look at the photos. Well, I saw these photos in very quick passing. I was like, cool.
They do not say Fanatic, so
Okay,
it
so
looks
it
like
might
they're
be-
just regular paint.
Army Painter had like a whole big shakeup in their paint line recently.
They did, yeah.
I have not used. I like their washes, sort of. They dry.
Are these mostly washes like the other set was?
They are not. They are paints.
They have some paints, yeah. They're not.
I mean, the other one had paints too. Just some of them were washes, some of them were paints. And
they're like washes and base paints in the first set, right?
Yeah.
And I think they have some quick paints in this one, or some speed. There's speed paints or something. Yeah,
that's what I meant for the second one. So there's some, but not as many.
Possibly.
Okay. I mean, I've used them. I used the original set, and it's not bad. Yeah, they do work.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the modern hobby paints coming out are good. They're fine. You can buy. They all have their little differences. The ones that I've tried.
Oh, it's a very different style than I'm used to painting. So I was very out of my comfort zone. But I painted some up, and they're fine.
Yeah, so. You've got like 20 paints. I will say I can't read all of these like gray is called Gray Death. So I love we're sticking with faction appropriate.
Oh yeah, let's tie it in.
Yeah. But the other thing technically at Adepticon was the volume 2 of Ill Clan source book. So the rec guides without the rec, just the guides. Okay, but back to hobby.
Progress. So yeah, that was it. How about you guys?
Hey, I set up my hobby desk. I unpacked my chair. I got all my boxes with all my hobby stuff in there, and I put them over there. And I am very excited about hopefully this week finishing off the Gray Death Lance pack. I'm going to finish those up and actually force myself to do some hobby progress.
Yourself.
I have more hobby progress I forgot about, but I'll wait until you're done, Josh.
I mean, by picking up brushes, you did more than me, sir. I did hobby planning, thinking of my next project, while my current project is still not painted.
Hobby planning it's like we say, purchases are hobby progress. That's hobby progress.
After listening to the last episode of the Coolant Pod podcast, where they talked about Nova Cats, my brain was already before I even listened to that, I was like, Josh, you have one Nova. I had a Nova Cat sitting on my desk. The closest mech to me, like while I played like Helldivers and everything, was a Nova Cat. And I was like, why couldn't I commit to putting this Nova Cat into my Sea Foxes, my Comstar, or even my Ravens? I was like, why? And I was like, my brain was like telling me, build a Nova Cat star. So now I'm like fully into, I want to build a Nova Cat like star, 2-star, binary, I think is what a 2 stars is called. I know it's called binary.
Is it the Nova Cat's the one with 3 large lasers and 2 PPCs and the shoulders and the like MechWarrior 4 expansion cover box thing?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, I got the right mech in my head.
Yeah. But this started because like I picked up that old Comstar field manual and like I'd say 40% Comstar, 40% Word of Blake, and then like the rest is like Aerodani Lighthorse, Star League, the second Star League, and Nova Cats. And I was like, oh, and I could take some clans and paint them white, and it'd be lore appropriate. Oh no. Yeah, but then I also realized I was like, why is putting clan into like multiple factions so much easier than putting Innisphere? And I was like, because they all use the same things.
Yeah.
Like you just buy a clan box and you literally divvy it up however you want.
All those trials of possession.
Yeah. Like 2 random clans are closer together than 2 Innisphere factions that are right next to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's rough for a painter.
Especially in the invasion era.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm picking up next. So I think the Discord helped me out. I think I'm going to start with a Nova Cat, a Supernova, a Griffin 2C, a Jenner, and I already forgot the 5th mech. Not another Nova, because we talked about that, and that's just a meme Lance. Because then you got a Nova Cat, and Supernova. That's too many Novas. That's too much.
It's almost as memey as the wolf.
But yeah, so no painting hobby progress. I do want to try to get 1 mech painted before April comes. So by next episode, I want to finish something.
You've got like a day?
I've got 2.
2 days.
2 days.
That's doable.
That's doable. Easy.
Yeah.
But Dustin, you said you had something you were going to wait.
Yeah, I was actually like super fixated on it. I worked on it most of Monday and then Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and my partner's like off on spring break, so I was able to just hand the kids off. But I still need to finish it, but I started building a wargaming table. And
hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to have room underneath for storing all the terrain and crap that accumulates. And then the top it's big enough to have a 6x4 with room on the sides.
God, that's so nice. Yeah.
So, cause I hate not having the sides to put your stuff down on. And normally I'm playing 4x4 or smaller, Battletech. But I do occasionally play 40K. It's been a long time since we said this is a 40K podcast, but I do occasionally play like a 6x4 game. And it's like I want to be able to have room on the sides if I ever do that. So the other set of doors, I need like another sheet of plywood. That's not in the budget this month. The finish, like it's like paint grade plywood. So I need to paint it and do some research on like high durability paints and stuff, but also not in the budget this month. So, but it's built enough for me to actually play on it. So I'm like, hey, maybe I can play war games again.
No,
maybe.
Yeah. I cheated. I ordered one of the Wormwood gaming tables.
Ooh, Wormwood?
Which is great for, it's the one where the top comes off so you can have Battletech, like your battle mat and stuff. And then if you're interrupted in the game, you could just put the top back on and have dinner and not have to worry about putting anything away. Yeah. So it's so awesome. I don't think I can put a 4x6 on the inside. I think I'd have to put it on the, like have the table, like have it on top of the table, not on the interior part.
It does look like dinner table plus, like,
well, it's not a small table. I mean, I don't have it yet. It's been ordered. So I'll give a full review once I get it.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. I'm super excited about it.
Hell yeah, brother. Mine will not be this nice.
Well, I said, I cheated. I'm not building it myself. I respect you building yours. Like I can't store stuff under mine. I'm very excited about having someone else make it for me.
Yeah. But yeah, we have like I said, we have a dedicated hobby room. So it's a sewing / wargaming room.
Nice.
And I mean, I can die now. It's great.
All I'm going to say is, did you take the she shed with you?
That was part of the, part of what the new house had to have. And it's why we ended up kind of like where we ended, because I couldn't take the shed away from my wife. So we had to get a place that had a shed or a garage that could be turned into a sewing space. And this one has a bonus room. So
nice.
All that work. And what was it for?
Dude,
hey,
it
probably added value to that.
Oh yeah. But it's still like,
tell me about it. And then I put the siding.
Dustin's like, don't remind me.
I spent like a solid 8 weekends.
I know we were there, not there because we didn't help, but we were here.
Mentally,
I went to work. There were weekends where I'm like, oh, thank God it's Tuesday. I get to go back to work. I don't have to work on the siding on my house anymore. And the shed and now I'm like, just bury me, boss. And I don't want to do house projects for a long time. But I bought a router that was part of making this table because of the way I wanted to do the doors on the bottom, and I have a new shop toy. So I had a lot of fun with the router. I got one of the rounding over bits and rounded all the edges on all the plywood surfaces.
I also got a router, but an entirely different toy.
Kind of router? Okay.
Yeah, entirely different.
But yeah, that was the other hobby progress. I'm halfway to gaming table paradise.
That's super cool. I look forward to helping you break that in.
All right. Soon. I mean, yeah. Anyways, so that was everybody's hobby progress. Did we do it all?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, if we can call that hobby progress.
Next podcast should be better.
Yeah. Dustin wins because he technically painted a model. So
yeah,
I got it wrapped up.
Another painting trophy to Dustin.
Yeah, there's no requirement that it's Battletech. It's only heavily encouraged.
I've got Jade Falcons. Falcons are next.
But let's move on to some games played, because we did actually get some games played in.
Oh, I get to start.
Nice.
I mean, 0.
Moving. 0 games played. I unfortunately scheduled myself an Infinity tournament before I knew I was going to be moving. So I moved. And then the next week I went to, I think, Virginia Beach and played a 3 rounds single day.
This wasn't even local?
It wasn't even local.
Oh.
I committed to an out of state. I mean, it was a 3-hour drive.
Oh, gosh.
So only a half hour further than, it sounds far, but it wasn't much further than Southern.
It's not like terrible far, but it's also not like.
No, it wasn't in the backyard. Is great. I got destroyed once again because I was limiting myself to the jank I had painted, and I had to make a really bad list. And I think it was like a high 30s man tournament, and I came in like third to last.
Oh.
But I didn't get tabled. I scored points in each game. The games were not tight. They weren't close, but I didn't get blown out. I just got consistently beat.
It happens. Like, it happens.
Yeah. I had a good time. And then I had to turn around and come back and finish like moving and come back to so it was kind of hell, but also fine. It was good. It was good.
I'm sorry.
It's good. It was fun, but those games were fun. Can't go into details. Not an Infinity podcast yet. So, but
did anything like wild fun happen? Like you can say that.
I killed a Yodam. Apparently that is the toughest unit in Infinity.
Okay.
And I killed it. It killed half of my army first.
I love how that's what you painted, right? Like that was the prize.
It was not the one that I painted, but yes, it was the model.
Okay.
That I painted. So it was a different Yodam, a different guy. He brought whatever the hell Yodams come in, Svalarhema or whatever.
At this point, you're just speaking in tongues to me.
Yeah, it is. Yep. But yeah, it was the toughest unit in the game, and I bounced a bunch of my stuff on it, trying to kill it. It's like 3 wounds to unconscious, 2 wounds through unconscious. But I mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, I did kill the Yodam, and that scored me my points on my last game. And they're like, you killed the Yodam? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. I was like, yeah, it was hard.
They're like, damn, Dustin's hardcore. He killed a Yodam.
I mean, I got my ass kicked doing it, but no, I sent a message to the, because like the local group, a couple of guys went up with me, and I was like, I just had my first Yodam shoved up my ass. That was not fun. And they're like, oh, first time, buddy. So
was it when you asked God to stop giving you your toughest battles?
You ate 3 pounds of mayonnaise. You've seen that one, haven't you?
Oh, I've seen them all.
Yeah. So no, it was fun. It was fun. I'm excited to get back to the local BattleTech stuff.
You tried to come out and your child threw up in your car. So yes. I understand that you attempted to play BattleTech.
I had a free day. I had, the time off, so to speak, in the house or whatever, but I'll make it out. I'll make it out to a Saturday here shortly.
This is when I do those.
And can play at my house because I'm building a game room. So we can also play BattleTech. My brother is living in town too. So I'll be playing my older brother, the OG. I played my first like 25 games of BattleTech on Tabletop Simulator with my older brother. So
nice,
man.
He still likes to play BattleTech. So we'll get some dice in too.
Well,
never too old to play BattleTech. I promise. No.
But how about you, Josh? You carrying the torch of like actually playing BattleTech in this BattleTech podcast.
This man only wants to play BattleTech. He cares about nothing else in life. This man just wants to roll dice, roll some boxcars, and keep moving. I got 3 games in.
Nice.
The first one was in Portland, Oregon, because I had
out of town.
Yeah, I went out of town. I technically tagged along with my wife on one of her work trips, so I was, away from here. Which I was like, well, Dustin's and Denham are both doing life events. I might as well do a mini life event. So, yeah. But that was fun because I got to hang out with Neil, Lauren, Addison, Isaac, and Devin at Gone Guy Games in Portland. And I say Portland, it was like 20 minutes away. Beaverton, I think. first off, if your town's name is Beaverton, like you gotta you gotta stop.
It's Beaver Town, man. Beaverton.
It's Beaver Town. But so I did take models up. I was like, I'm taking models. I'm playing BattleTech. And
easy to take a classic BattleTech army. Yeah.
So easy.
It's one of my favorite parts, for sure.
So I just like hopped into one of their like classic pickup games. Like they do that on their Tuesday nights. What is it with BattleTech and Tuesdays? I don't know. I'm not trying to change the world. I just want to ask that question.
Because BattleTech can't get Wednesdays yet.
Yeah.
Soon.
But so I did a 3000 BV Intratech game. I was not prepared for that model-wise.
Man.
But yeah.
Yeah. Went back in time.
So they do Intratech on weekdays
3,000.
and Il Clan on weekends.
Okay.
So like they mix it up. So like two completely different games almost.
Yeah.
P.S. I've never seen that many like bug mechs on the table.
At 3000 BV? Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
I fought Addison and he took a Blackjack, Valkyrie, Locust, and a Stinger, and then 2-wheeled scouts at 3000 BV.
Oh, interesting.
I took an Exterminator and Kintaro. I was like,
the bugs versus the Exterminator.
Yeah, I'm like, no. I ain't playing that game, son. No. I was like, it's 2-on-6.
And how did it go?
First off, I forgot what Intratech is like. It's only, like, I don't want to say I forgot where I started from, but it's like you play an Intratech Kintaro and an Intratech Exterminator. What do they have in common? They got 10 single heat sinks.
Yeah, that's right.
And they got like 20 sinks worth of ammo, weapon wise. Like,
oh yeah,
like they were not made.
Kintaro's hot.
They were not made for single heat sinks. Like
it's a hot
you
mech.
started when you had a choice, Josh.
But the game was great. Like I said, I played Addison. His Locust like went wide. His Blackjack and his Valkyrie stayed back on like the very backfield, and we were just playing a kill 'em match. Like it was fine. Like I was getting pummeled just by the fact of that range and that fire.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
was this a BJ1?
2 AC2s. Yeah. Hardcore Intratech. Hardcore Intratech.
It's perfect form. They got it right the first time, as God intended.
But yeah, so I was like, what do? I'm going to spend 5 turns fighting a Locust and a Stinger. And he knew that.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, as soon as Josh like dedicates shooting the Locust, like he's won. I was like, no. So I just run. For like 3 turns, my dudes are just like hardcore, like running through when the heaviest weapon on the field is an LRM-10. Like you're like, I got more armor than that. I'm good.
We're gonna run the gamut.
We're gonna run the gamut. So I get right up pretty much on his Blackjack and his Valkyrie. His Valkyrie jumps away. I shoot it. It jumps. That's fine. The Kintaro gets on up the Blackjack. Blackjack Alpha strikes. Blackjack goes hot and then he jumps and he's like,
ooh.
This man passed was it 10 up, either 8 up or 10 up shutdown roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then he passes the ammo explosion roll.
Whoa
is right. I was like, nice. We playing this one.
Uh-huh.
The Kintaro whips around. He's got the arm with like a laser and SRM-6, fires that, hits it. Pretty sure I like hit the leg or something. It falls down. So it's on the ground, essentially, like that. The Blackjack's down for a turn.
Mm.
The Valkyrie jumps, and the Exterminator like whips one arm, hits it, tacks it with the gyro.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, this game should not be going this way. This is me just getting lucky, but I need it because I'm still outnumbered.
Uh-huh.
Instead of 3-1, I'm outnumbered 2-1. The Wheel Scouts. Holy crap, those have more armor than they have any right to. They are a medium laser and a tank.
Yeah.
I was like, you can immobilize them. That's easy. But they got more armor. Don't shoot them.
Yeah. But I mean, a medium laser, medium lasers are good in Intratech.
Oh, yeah.
They're good. They're like the most efficient weapon there is.
Yeah.
So the next turn, I essentially spike my Exterminator seat to try to get some shots off to kill the Blackjack. The Kintaro like spikes its heat as well, doing the same thing. I do a bunch of damage. I'm pretty sure the Blackjack's never getting up again. Still alive, because intro tech mechs, they don't die. Like that's
zombie mechs.
The next turn, the game's been going for like an hour and a half, 2 hours by now. It's intro tech. We've shot like 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
He puts his Stinger and his Locust like right on the edge, so it's like everyone's within 3 hexes. And I unload every weapon I have, and I need like 6s to hit. I hit nothing.
Oh, wow.
He hits me, but not as much as he thought either. So at that point, we're just like, all right, you've taken out my 2 biggest mechs, and I just have the Stinger and the Locust, and then 2 Wheeled Scouts. Like, technically, you win the field. Like, I'm internal on your Kintaro, on the leg and the left torso. Like, but I'm just going to get lucky on an ammo explosion if I kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So we called it then. That was a great game, though. But man, did it make me like, I need some double heat sinks, man.
A lot of people say that broke the game. Like it went downhill since, ever since double heat sinks were created, the game just went downhill. Yet it's still like, this is what its 40th year. So
give me the triple, son.
Dead.
Give me triple heat sinks.
Hey, I've played double heatsink mechs recently with coolant pods, and I like them.
Oh yeah, they get even hotter.
I played against that coolant pod Kodiak that can alpha strike like 2 turns in a row.
I will say they did try to do like a big campaign day for the day I was going to get there. Unfortunately, I got held up in Denver, so that's what happens. So I just wanted to thank everyone at Gongai Games, because that was a great play space. Loved hanging out there. And thanks again to the Portland, Oregon Battletech community. So shout out to them. My second game, I played with Scott from scotsgameroom.com. This one's actually recorded, and they will be posting that soon. So check out their website. They were like, no promises on when this get out, but when it does, it's gonna be
all right.
cool.
No spoilers. Don't tell us who won.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but I will say I took a Raijin, a Battle Cobra, a Black Knight 9, a Legacy 01 Ultra Autocannons, and a squad of Purifiers. And they took a Hellion, a Hammerhead, some Corona battle armor. I want to say Corona. Don't quote me on that. And then a Summoner. So they were all 3-4, and I was all like 4-4, and then the Black Knight was 4-3. So I want to know people's thoughts on who came out of that one. And we played
the Black Knight 09 with, you said, was 4-3, so it's the one with the sword shaped hatchet.
Yes.
Cool.
So, and we did play a MechBay mission. We played the get to the other side of the table, essentially, and without like whoever has more of the BV on the opponent's side at the end of the game.
How many turns?
I think we did 10.
It's a long game.
It's a long game. So yeah. whoever thinks, I want to know. I want to know what your thoughts are. Can Josh do it, or can he not? But my third game was against Jeff, and that was another 7500 BV classic game. And I took my Triskelion, my Ha-Atoko, my Vulture Mark 4D, and some Elemental 3s versus Jeff's Vulture Mark 4D, a Freet, the Nova with re-engineered lasers and AP Gauss rifles, and an Incubus. That one was a rough game for me. Yeah.
How'd it go?
How did the Elemental 3s... Oh, you don't like using Elementals the way they're supposed to be used. So did you...
How are Elementals supposed to be used?
Yeah, we can do the whole episode on that. How did you feel they did for you?
Just specifically the Elementals?
Yeah, the Elemental 3s specifically.
The Elementals 3s, they made one leg attack. They did get a double crit on the leg of the Vulture Mark 4D on that turn. They missed, I want to say, 50% of their AP Gauss shots that they made and hit the one-shot SRMs that they fired. So their incomplete effectiveness came from just the leg attack. And I didn't love it.
Yeah.
For their price. Their price
I'm a
of
big fan of them.
what 500,
especially with this
BB.
stealth armor.
Yeah, they never got shot, so it's like
yeah.
So flashback. I took purifiers, which have mimetic armor, and got in trees are like +5, +6 to hit. Like it's wild. So stealth armor elementals, they're just no. I'll take stealthy things.
Yeah, but stealth elemental 3s are more legal on more tables. So mimic armor is not like your standard equipment.
It's in total warfare.
All right.
Get wrecked.
Eh.
That's old school tech, son.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so the elemental 3s did do work. Like they were not useless like some games. So they had that going for them. My Triskelion, I forgot that it has ECM. B, forgot it has a target computer.
Ooh.
C, Jeff reminded me that it has Artemis 5, which essentially means it's -1 to all of its shooting.
-1. Yeah.
Yep.
All
Artemis
of its shooting.
5 is sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget your targeting computer. You paid for that.
You pay a lot. I mean,
pay a lot for that thing. That's built-in +1 gunnery. So
yeah, Jeff is good for reminding you to use the equipment that you brought. He's a good guy.
Only if he knows that what the equipment has. Yeah.
I can't do this every time.
I can't hold your hand, Josh. Oh, yeah. The Triskelion, great. If I had remembered more of its stuff. The Haatoko, I only had the one record sheet with me, and that was the one with mech mortars.
Strange.
Yeah, well, it's the Haatoko HR, which is like the experimental, but not one.
Uh-huh.
I think let's get real. It probably is experimental. Don't look me up on Master Unit lists. But yeah, mech mortars bad. They are indirect firing SRMs. Think of it like that.
Oof.
10 heat for an SRM 8.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
It's not great. He did get brawly. Unfortunately, he did fall the one time I needed him to brawl. I was like, Toko, why you suck?
Yeah, why you do this to me?
And then, of course, the Vulture Mark 4D. It's just a shotgun. You point it at something and it dies.
Yeah.
We pointed at both of our Vulture Mark 4Ds at each other.
I saw that. I saw that photo.
And we're like, whose ATMs can roll better?
Mm-hmm. Interesting sculpt.
Yeah, so
I thought it was a kit bash, but I was like, no, that's a full blown fan sculpt or something.
Yeah, I think that's one of the online prints of it. Mm-hmm. He was also like, this is fiddly as well, so like it's not completely superior to the metal one, which technically I didn't assemble mine. That's the one I traded for you, Ditto.
Yeah,
Dustin.
That's my first Vulture Mark IV. And then I was like, damn it, I have to buy another one of these. And those arms you got to pin them. And they're hard to pin because they're tiny. You got to get it right in there. But so I guess the 3D print is fiddly too.
But so that game, it wasn't a total loss, but my Sea Foxes did not do their best. So
okay. Did you have fun?
I did have a lot of fun. It's very fun when you're rolling ATMs and having to be like, how much damage is that? That's 60 damage.
That's a lot of damage.
All right, and then we reduced that down because we're both wearing ferrolaminar armor.
Ferrolam, yeah. Then 4 points per group instead or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
Uh-huh. It was fun when I fired the one-shot SRMs at the Vulture Mark 4D, and it's like, how much do those do? 1 damage each. Like, I paid for the one shot and I didn't use it right. But no, that was a fun game. Loved it. But yeah, that's all my games. I got 3 games. So you know what? I'm happy.
A lot of games.
I'm happy for March. Let's see what April has in store. We've got some upcoming events though. We've got a Battle of Tukid on May 11th, 2024, and that's in Greenwood, Indiana. And that is Alpha Strike, and I'm interested in that one. I'm like, it looks fun. So if you're there, go play.
Yeah.
We've got the Motor City Mayhem coming up as well. We've got Rumble in the Bluegrass in
Tennessee.
And then we've got the Richmond City Open, as we all knew. So
in Richmond.
Yeah. Still trying to see if my schedule will let me do that. They've got both Classic and Alpha Strike going. So
is Richmond in South Carolina?
Richmond is Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
All right. So I think the best way, because none of our brains can really like process like hardcore BattleTech rules. Like I read Total Warfare and Battle Mech manual today, and that was enough to help like charge rules. Mental note, why charge rules are written differently between a game of Armored Combat and Battle Mech manual. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to think about that, but they are. They're written differently to get to the same destination.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that, people. But yeah, so we're going to start with some fan mail. Why? Because apparently my spam folder was getting a lot of things. So I'm sorry, everyone. So we're looking at a few ones that got stuck there, and I thought we should mention again. So we're going to start with Daniel Collis. And Daniel writes, "Hey guys, longtime listener to the podcast, first time emailer." Me too, Daniel. I must start by letting you know I'm a major fan of the Hatchetman, and obviously I'm a fan of hatchets. That being said, I am not a true grognard and here to bash you about their rules. Just a clarification and potential reason for why we misunderstood their rules. It was stated in the podcast that the hatchet was never rolled on the punch table. Upon hearing that, my first thought was that you must be mistaken. We've always played it that way. So when I got the chance, I went through my digital copies of the old rulebooks to find the truth, and I did find it. Hatchet rules were introduced in the paperback BattleTech Compendium 1990. This was our Bible back then. In that book is where our misunderstanding lies. The rules tell us about punches with the punch hit location chart, then moves to clubs and then hatchets. It makes no mention of hit locations in the clubs or hatchets section. Then it moves on to kicks being on the kick chart. As it does not specify the hit location in the club or hatchet sections, and both sections follow punches, one would infer that you would use punch hit location for those weapons. All subsequent books, starting with the BattleTech Compendium, The Rules of Warfare, 1994, include a single sentence that fixes this. Roll normally on the Battle Mech hit location table. And I love how Denham's smiling.
Yeah, because they had to add that because it's rule by omission is what that was. So if like the punches said roll on the punch table, the kicks said roll on the kick table, the hatchets didn't mention that. Therefore, they defaulted to the rule that was already stated, which was roll normally on the hit location. So since they did not specify, then it defaults to the rules
right
that were already established, which are roll on the full body table. Yes. I actually remember that in 1994 when we all looked at that. We're like, oh, of course, yeah, yeah, I do. I was there.
So people that use context clues, like Daniel, would. I read it and I was like, oh no, that makes complete sense of why people would make that mistake.
Oh yeah, I will say I remember using a hatchet or something the first time, and I usually like to prep a little bit with rules and go into it, and it stands out as a supremely disappointing moment in my BattleTech career, finding out that the hatchet does not roll on the punch table. I was like,
right.
What? You gotta be
I do like that they added that in though. So your guys with the super low piloting skill, it's just a little bit higher, and then you can roll on the punch table. So I'm glad they added that.
I had to spend, me and Scott from scottsgameroom.com had to spend like 5 minutes looking up if could the Black Knight use its hatchet on battle armor, because I was like, it can't punch lower that like if there's a levels difference it can do it, right. But I don't know if it can do it against just things that are only on one level. So we had to look, and it's like essentially yes
yeah,
you
can. You can use a hatchet to only attack the legs if you want to. It's the same as attacking the punch table.
But would I have to take the penalty then? That was the question. Like, I can do it, but do I have to take a penalty? And the answer is no. Like,
no, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to.
But I had to make sure before I took the cricket bat to a single battle armor unit and do double its damage. So
yeah, I'm also a fan of hatchets and swords and vibroblades and retractable blades. Yeah, I like all the fun stuff.
The fun punchy stuff.
all physical weapons are great. Every single one. In fact, they could be greater. But no, thank you, Daniel, for writing in. I love to hear when we're wrong.
But we weren't.
We weren't. We just didn't know when we were wrong.
No.
A follow-up to the episode where we talked about how to defeat mechs, the fantastical mechs, and how to kill them. It was mentioned that we forgot that armor-piercing ammo ignores special armors.
That is true, yes. Well, does armor-piercing ammo ignore all special armors or just hardened armor?
Hardened and Pharaoh, specifically.
Okay. Because that's not all.
That's not all.
Re-engineered lasers ignores all armor effects or all special armor, whereas armor-piercing is specifically, it's just those two.
Yeah, probably wouldn't work against ballistic reinforced.
No.
That wouldn't make too much sense.
I think it's got special rules.
Yeah, ballistic reinforced has literal special rules against armor piercing. It's like,
yeah.
At that point, you're rocking the paper and you're papering the scissors all at once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they brought that up, and I was like, yeah, we did forget that. That's not something I think about, because I think the problem is a lot of hardened armor is later tech, and there's just not a lot of basic bog standard autocannons around at that time. Like, pretty much, there is any clan mech does not have a regular autocannon.
Oh, they don't have them.
They don't.
Yeah.
So like,
it's either Ultra or LBX. Like that's where it starts.
That's it.
So like half the clan, half of all units are just, nope, we don't have that anymore. So I personally don't consider autocannon special ammo to be a good answer for these.
It's not a bad answer.
It's not a bad answer, but it's not a default answer. Like, oh, if you see hardened armor, you need to take a regular autocannon unit. Like, my answer is fire the autocannon twice as fast to do the same damage.
Like
re-engineered
lasers.
Just re-engineered laser. There's no good answer, but yes, we did forget that. I will say you also take a +1 for that armor piercing ammo, and that's a little rough.
-1 for the re-engineered lasers.
Yeah, so it's literally the opposite. Like,
but again, it's still an answer, and we did miss it. So yes,
I'm sorry.
I will take these emails about that stuff every day, because I do forget things.
All right. Next one, Thomas Klinkhammer says, "Morning. Been re-listening to a bunch of episodes lately since I caught up with every Battletech podcast I've regularly listened to, and I recently bought Campaign Operations and Destiny. Hopefully run something with my friends. I also started rolling up a mercenary force for fun. But the main reason for the email is to submit a Lancing review for the upcoming MRC tournament. And unfortunately, this tournament already happened."
Spam filters.
Yeah, blame Comstar once again. I'm bringing some ill-clan death commandos with a dumb idea in mind, and I'd love to know what you all think. So Thomas has a gun, a Crusader 8L, a Marauder 6L, a Shadowhawk 8L, a Hexareme hover tank at 3-4, a Mangosh track tank at 3-4. And honestly, the gun and the Crusader also at 3-4, and the Marauders at 4-5, and the Shadowhawks at 4-5. So this is mainly like a 3-4 with some 4-5 slower boys
sprinkled in.
They write, almost every unit has at least one plasma rifle, with 7 plasma rifles between the whole list. Only the Hexareme doesn't have a plasma. Missions are randomly pulled from a list, and we will need units to carry at least 1 ton of infantry for one of the missions.
Remember that. Okay, I use that Shadowhawk 8L a lot, and I like to put. I like to take out the LRMs from the MML5 and put in SRMs and Inferno SRMs.
Even hotter.
Yeah, but with plasma rifles, just remember that an individual unit can only take up to 15 points of heat from any external source. So once you hit that limit,
threshold,
you're paying a lot of heat and tonnage to do only 10 damage and 1 to 6 heat. And really, if I was going to do that, there's a catapult that has 2 plasma rifles that I really, really like taking. But I love plasma rifles. I love pairing plasma rifles with Inferno rounds, but I do know, because I've tried this before, if you put too many of them on your list, it becomes less efficient than what the other people are taking. And if you don't roll high enough on those numbers to really get the heat that you want, then you will find yourself at a disadvantage pretty fast. But you could get lucky and just dominate from the beginning. I know we missed this before the MRC, but I would love to hear how your Lance did.
Yeah, I want the follow-up to this one.
Yeah.
My thought is, if they win, they're going to win big, and if they don't win, they're going to really struggle, but not like badly. Like, I think this is a good list. I think it takes.
I think it's a fun list. Like, I would take this. I really would.
Fun to be the guy pulling the trigger, not fun to be the guy getting hit. I know my problem on like Mega Mech / MRC games is like heat is virtual, so I don't think about it. Like, I'm not actively tracking it on my hand, so I don't think about it.
I've used that 8L Shadowhawk against you and overheated you more than a few times.
Yeah. I don't think about the heat until I see the thing. It's like heat scale 15. Hot. I was like, wait, what? No.
Wait, what? Uh-oh.
Yeah. I will say I do like the Hexaream HQ hovercraft. Like it's different. It's very different. It's got 2 AMSs. It's got some light machine gun, and it's got an LB2 and a snub nose. Like,
ooh, snub nose.
And it's also got ECM and communication equipment. And I'm gonna say the communication equipment, I want to say, has a rule for it. I'm trying to remember. It might be initiative based, depending on if you're using that alternate rule. So,
yeah.
But it also carries 4 tons of troops. They're not taking any infantry or whatever. So it's 1291 BV, and they're actually taking it at 3-4. So it's more than that. But it's a 711, and it's a very tanky hover. Like, I'm talking 40 armor front.
Nice.
Lowest armor is 30 on the rear.
That's too much armor for a hover tank.
Mm-hmm.
Those things don't need armor. The skirts get blown out from under him.
Yeah, but then it's a nicely armored turret with a snub nose with a short range of 9. So
that's true.
It's not bad.
I don't see a big thick boy.
Unless the Hexaream is the thick boy.
I guess, yeah. So that's the only. I mean, you're taking 3-4 pilots, gunnery and piloting. So that's the trade-off. The Marauder is heavy-ish. I'm not familiar with the 6L, but 2
plasma rifles, 1 PPC.
Yeah,
ECM and TSM. So
okay, interesting build.
Yeah, I mean,
it can bring the brawl, I guess. So, and it's a heavy. It's not bad.
That Shadowhawk
send us more fan mail. Yes, very mobile, and we'll check the spam filter this time and try to.
I regret nothing, but I will apologize for everything.
We're out.
Yeah, even the Crusaders, the double plasma rifle, MML7. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like all plasma rifles are good. Like, there's no.
They're good.
They're good. Like,
but this is a lot of plasma rifle.
But this is a lot of plasma rifles.
The thing about this list is, if you're going to because of the 15 point per turn limit, you're forced into a game plan, and your opponent might know that, right? So your opponent is going to meta game you possibly and be like, oh, they've got all this plasma, so they're going to have to spread it out on my force, and they can try to, pack in all their guys and bring the death ball to you. And they might know that you're going to be trying to spread your fire around. So I don't ever want to be intentionally in BattleTech not focus firing, if at all possible.
You need something to follow up once you overheat somebody and they shut down. Like, what do you do the turn that they're shut down? You need to have something that they can take advantage of that.
I feel like it's the Marauder.
It could get in there, yeah. And TSM,
plasma weapons are ammo based, so you could run out of ammo as well.
That too, yeah. Let us know how it went.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm
curious.
Genuinely curious.
This is a wild list. I've never seen anything like this before. I've seen plasma on lists, but I ain't seen this much.
Yeah, I don't know about the Mangosh and the Hexaream. Like, to me, those are doing the same thing. They got 4-ton infantry transport. Mm-hmm. and they both got a main gun and then light machine gun. So like,
yeah, Mangosh should not have a turret, which limits it pretty severely.
Yeah, it's just front. Ooh,
It's just front. Yep.
This is the Hexareem. What about the Hexareem? Hexareem, that is turret for Snubnose. So,
should yeah. On a hover, I would hope on a hovercraft you'd have some turret, because otherwise positioning can be a little difficult.
Yeah,
Mangosh holds the line. It does not like to be flanked.
Yeah, that's a 7-11, so it can probably get not shot if it wants to not get shot at.
Yeah, they scoot.
Yeah. So my thought on this is drop the Mangosh, up the skill on one thing, and get a tank. Get a pure brawly, a cudgel, something dumb. That's just
for the finishing blow.
Just a thick boy that's going to exploit that one thing that shuts down. But I do want to know how this list did. So.
Gun is interesting too. Gun's slow for a light mech. It's a 5.8, I think. I'm pretty sure.
They took the gun 2-0 or 2-0. That's 1 plasma, 2 ER mediums, and that's a 5.8 with 56 armor. Like,
being too slow is written into the lore on the
gun. I love a gun. Like, love it aesthetically,
cool sculpt,
conceptually, spiritually, even. But it's a small cockpit. Like, it's got a lot going against it for the price, which is 1,000-ish BB at how they're running it.
It does make it cheaper, for high tech era. It's a cheap mech, but it's gonna die. But goes down, burning everything around it, maybe. So, yeah.
And while I'm here, next? What does that Shadowhawk have?
The Shadowhawk 8L. It's a 5.87. It has a plasma rifle, an MML5. It has a medium VSP.
Yeah.
And I think it's just those 3 weapons.
Yep. And then a Beagle, and then ECM. So
yeah, and then it's got the probe, all the electronics in the left arm.
Yeah.
The suite. The arm.
So yeah, so I think that's the one thing this list does. It's good, but it has nothing that's gonna hit the weird, like nothing extreme range. So I'm worried about sniping. Nothing that's super thick boy that can tank if something needs to tank, and nothing that's just gonna punish your opponent when they do something stupid.
No Juggernaut. Yeah.
No Juggernaut. No quad Gauss if they shut down. That's just gonna obliterate. Like you've got plasma rifles, so you can do damage, but
you can put in 70 damage on -4 to hit. Yeah,
but then that's your whole force firing on that thing instead of just
one guy.
Yeah. Bring out the what's it? Clegger Legane. Like I just need something to die, and that mech's job is to kill that thing. Okay, so that's a fun list. Let us know how it worked, Thomas. I want to retroactively say good luck.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, we've got Ian Tennant. Ian writes, "Hey guys, I'm coming back to BattleTech as I've only played in the late 80s through the early 90s. Started listening to your podcast up to episode 51 as of this email." Okay, that was still this month. That's okay.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And have joined the Discord. I was fortunate enough to have purchased the majority of these box sets new from a private party that didn't want them after looking at the rules. My question is, how do I create balance forces without knowing all the details of each mech and being basically a new player? And then they have a list of like all their forces that they made. So I'm going to lead off this is, how do I create balance forces without knowing all the details of each mech? That's the fun part about BattleTech.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Start putting them on the table. Battle mechs have just incredible personalities, and you just don't get to meet that thing until you put it on the battlefield. I feel like I'll go back to my famous Victor story. I saw the record sheet and I was like, wow, and this is when my intro tech days, I'm like, the Victor is a piece of garbage. It doesn't have enough armor for an assault mech. And then one day I put it on the table and it just terrorized a bunch of mechs inside of a Canyon network. And I was like, oh, Oh, that's how you use this.
I'm going to say my opinion is to start small.
Okay.
Break them up into teams of 2 and just play, because like really you're not going to understand how battle mechs work together until you've played a bunch of games anyway. So start by like each of the sheets should have battle value on them. Try to get 2 mechs on each team that have approximately the same battle value, like within 5 or 10%. It doesn't really matter at the beginning anyway. And just start off with that, with like small, and then go up to 3, and then go up to 4. And then once you've had a bunch of games, you kind of know how they go together, and you kind of know what battle value really means. And then you'll also start having favorite mechs, and then you can build, well, I would like these 4 mechs to go together. That's cool. What can I build to go against them that's approximately the same threat level?
What do you think about I feel like one of my defaults for an intro game, and this is effectively what you're doing, you're creating balanced forces for a newish player. That's you. I like to put the 5.85 55 tonners on the field.
That's good, except for those guys. They're normally undergunned and over armored. Normally, not always.
Or the 5.80s.
And those games can go on for a long time for a new player.
Yeah. Okay.
The slow lights are good because they tend to have bigger guns and less armor, and the fights are over quicker, so you get to go through like the Panther.
Okay.
You get to learn a lot of the rules and get through games a little bit faster at the beginning. Just to figure all that out. Yeah.
Could drop the piloting and gunnery. Play all your games at 3-4 instead of 4-5.
That's true. That helps.
Do that too.
So they already say that they have a Draconis Combine and Federated Sons force that they've kind of like divvied up between the beginner's box, another beginner's box, a game of armed combat, and then they've got IS, Command Lance, Direct Fire Lance, Striker Lance, and then they've also got a proliferation pack. So it's more like, I feel like from what they've written, because they've got like first lance, second lance, third lance, I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you mentally can't pre-assign mechs to lances that you want to run, possibly. Like, if you're building like a lore for your force, that's when you do that. Like, this is the command lance, this is the scout lance, like doing that. But like for playing, no, it's a bucket and you reach in and whatever you're feeling that day. Like, if you want to brawl that day, you build the brawly list of lance.
But you don't know until you've played.
Yeah.
So that's why I agree. Take some random mechs and just start playing with them and get a feel for each mech. And that's when you decide what lance you want to put them in and how that goes.
Like the lances they've got, all right, here's second lance, Valkyrie, Shadowhawk, Archer, Marauder 2. Like that's fine. Like that you've got your light, medium, heavy assault. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So like don't worry too much about that.
Yeah. You might be tempted to make them like, oh, these 2 lancers are equal tonnage, so they are balanced. They're not.
Battle value is the balancing factor.
Battle value 2, which I'm just going to refer to from here on ever as battle value.
There's no such thing as battle value 1.
Battle value 1 is not a functioning system. I know that some places still list battle value 1, and that confuses people because they think that it's still valid. It's not.
Nobody uses it.
It's not valid. Like, yeah, BV2 is where it's at.
It died in the 90s. We can say goodbye to it. But yeah, so I also struggled to build lances, but that is part of the fun of BattleTech, is like I can put any mech with any other mech.
Yeah.
And it's how I'm feeling that day. There are combinations, there are good things, but as a new player, just take what you want and then adjust the BVs to match, kind of. Like, you want to get close. Like, I think we've said in a previous podcast, like, take your favorite mech, take a mech that you want to try, take a mech that you love using, that like you used last time and like you want to try again, and then your fourth one, like whatever you're feeling.
Yeah, fourth one that you've never used before, just for fun.
Yeah. Next one, Nick Hosh writes, "Hey guys, love listening. You guys have made me end up walking my dog longer just to listen to more hilariously great commentary. I'm sorry."
Hey, exercise is good for you.
Yeah, and good for the
I
dog.
approve.
And your doggo. Yeah.
I want to know what kind of dog. You didn't include that, and that's kind of like, ooh, this is now a 3 out of 5 fan mail. Ugh, sorry. I want a picture and the breed and the name. Yeah, that's my requirement going forward. Maybe I missed an episode, but wondering if you consider an episode all about imagery, classic and Alpha Strike. If I missed it, I'll find it. So I'll stop. I'll pause. We did, and we're going to come back because that was like the most combined arms episode. I want to say it was like episode 6, and we just lightly touched like imagery is good for these things.
I don't think I was on that one.
You were not. You weren't around.
Early.
We didn't know.
Denim
Didn't pass the vibe check then.
I was on episode 4, and then you decided you never wanted me on again. And then I don't remember when I came back.
I might be stuck mentally. I might be stuck on episode 4, like after that. So that explains a lot. Second thought, they write, love classic. I don't have the time. Love Alpha Strike, but it's missing the cinematic personal flair that I love in classic. Ooh. And then I found Override from Death from Above. Not sure if that's something you would ever cover, and if this is stepping on toes or a topic you'd rather not. Totally fine. Thanks for consideration. Keep making great content.
I have an opinion about not formats or whatever, right? We got format wars. That's cool. I'm into that.
I'm into the format wars.
But when you create alternate, and this I always come from a perspective of a community organizer, because that's just always what I've done. When you have separate play modes, it fractures the play base a little bit. Mm-hmm. If you're doing your own thing at home, like that's super cool. This is for me personally, I don't usually spend time on alternate play modes because I'm a pickup shop game kind of person. And if we're all doing the same thing, it's really easy to just get in there and do that. And if you don't like the system, you're of course allowed to, create your alternate play mode. So that's my answer. That's why I don't know anything about Override from Death from Above.
It used to be Destiny. It used to be Destiny until
basically
Battletech Destiny came out. So they changed it to be Battletech Override for those in the know, essentially.
Okay, so it was called Destiny, but then CGL released not that thing, but a thing called Destiny. So then they changed the name of it. Okay.
So we've heard about it before and talked
as Destiny. Yeah. That makes sense. Cause it's like, I thought I heard about this before. I just, that's just
fine.
I'm kind of on the same page as you, Dustin. I am aware that this exists and I have no problems with it existing, but I have already dedicated so much of my life to the core rules of Battletech as they were written in the old days. That's what I know. So that's what I play. So that's what I teach people. So when people come to my store, that's what they're going to learn. And that's what we play. And in doing so, like our games, what would you say, Josh? Like our average games are now between 2.5 and 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's for 7,500 BV. Once you memorize a couple tables and you've done this a while, the games actually do speed up quite a bit.
Yeah. Memorizing.
I have nothing against the Override system.
Yeah.
It's just not one that I'm going to I'm not going to relearn it like a new system for me.
Yeah.
When you finally get that to hit machine programmed into your brain.
Yep.
That like, and it's
so bad. It's so good.
I was there. I was a beginner. And it took forever, but then the to hit machine got built in my brain, and it's just like 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 4, and just bum, 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 bum.
It was just so fast.
Yeah.
You were
that
plugged
is the
in.
number one thing. Yeah, that is the number one thing I recommend to new players. It's look, if you're going to memorize one table, it's the front back on the 2-hit chart. That's it. That's the one you want to memorize, and everything else, like, because you roll on that so often.
So much.
The game is to hit.
You come to Battletech school.
9,
left leg. 7, center torso. 11, left arm.
Yeah, when someone's in partial cover and you hear someone whispering 5s and 9s, 5s and 9s, it makes sense now.
Yep.
I'm not rolling dice. I'm rolling numbers.
Yeah.
What did Mason? What do the numbers mean?
What was the first location you memorized? It was 9 for me. It was definitely
really?
9
Not
left
center
and right.
torso.
Like center torso.
God.
Oh, that's a given. Seven's-
Okay. And then we have to excuse head. Then
For me, it was right and left torso because I get some displacement where right and left doesn't always track for me. So
Yeah.
I had to learn it as numbers. 6 is this one, 8 is that one,
Okay.
and it was just the location. I wasn't actually thinking left or right. I'm just 6
Where's the
is this
physical
one.
location?
Whatever this one is, whether it's left or right, I don't care. It's this one. So yeah.
It took me way too long to realize that lows is the right side and highs is
It's a circle. Like you can actually make a circle on your body with it. And yeah.
Josh,
we've
do
all
you
got
have
our
one?
own methods.
Do you have a first?
Just sheer bloody mindedness.
My brain is like, it's not. I literally have to like switch brain modes.
Uh-huh.
Like my podcast talking mode is not the memorized chart mode. That is not tournament Josh, but that's game Josh, which is like subcategory of tournament Josh. It's like you can't ask me any of these. Like what is? I don't know a single hit location right now.
Okay,
you gotta wait. Put some dice in my hand, make me roll, then that'll come into effect.
I feel you.
I want to say right torso, probably an 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's no right torso.
Left torso.
Is 6.
Six.
Left
See,
torso is 8.
see, you asked, and that's the answer you get.
Yeah,
So we're moving on.
Move on.
But yeah, no, I love the Death from Above guys. Love them.
Yeah, they're cool guys.
But yes, I the problem is with me, I do not have a regular opponent. I do not have a regular. Even my play group, as large and awesome as it is, I would literally be taking someone out of playing other people, and that's rough for me. If you only have like a group of 3 or 4 people that you're playing hardcore classic or Alpha Strike with,
friends,
do it. Do override, get more games in, have more fun. That's all that matters. I play different people. You hear the names of the people I play. Sometimes they're the same. That's only because they're the person that said that day they want to play me. It could be anyone. I'm not prearranging like with 4 guys. I'm like, who's at the shop that day? So
right, and also we have a store. We have stores we can go to play to find different people. When I was growing up, we didn't. We just had our group of people who always met, and then we could do whatever we want because it's always the same people.
Mm-hmm.
It's never any. So we could change the rules no matter what.
Yeah. We will probably one day, you were not the first person to talk about Override or the, I want to say, fan systems. Not fan formats, fan systems. So
I will never agree that a D12 equals 2D6.
It doesn't. The math says no.
It doesn't. The math, yeah. And I know that people out there will know the math actually makes it even better. I don't care.
Unless you're rolling a D36, a D36 dice, which I own for one reason.
But that's fine. That is the equivalent to 2D6. It is not a D12. It is a D36. That's fine. No problems with that.
P.S.
It has the numbers 2 through 12.
Then you're just playing half of Dungeons and Dragons if you use one D12.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I rolled my D36. I got a 6. And you know what? On the dice, it said you rolled a 3 and a 3, and I accept that. Oh, but we got our last fan mail, which is from Paulo.
Yep. Hey, Paulo.
Hey,
Paulo.
This is the Paulo. Hello.
Yeah,
Paulo.
this is Paulo.
Paulo writes, on the past week, I was traveling to my home country of Brazil and found the time to meet old friends for a Battletech event / birthday. Some of them are actually listeners to the MechBay podcast. So shout out to the Brazilian Battletech community.
No kidding. Hi, guys.
Also, special thanks to Fortress Miniatures that provided booklets and salvage boxes. So this was like an actual event.
Oh yeah, they had 4 simultaneous activities. They had a grinder, Alpha Strike games, Solaris 7 Arena using the Essentials box, and even a painting workshop that they had sponsored by local company.
Nice.
It was a big event, and apparently quite a few of them were MechBay fans. So hi guys,
I just love that. I just love that Fortress Miniatures and Games is like international. Like
yeah. Rob's out there hustling, man. Are you kidding?
But
he's the dealer. He's got the stuff.
He is. Oh,
I'm international.
He's got my credit card on file. He knows why.
That's right.
But Paulo writes, we had 4 simultaneous activities. He says it's a never-ending classic game instead of a grinder.
Well, yeah, that's a grinder for sure.
And we know people that have been in grinders for like 12 hours.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, Alpha Strike Games, a Solaris 7 Arena using the essential. Yeah, you already said all that. So
I did. I said all this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
My brain doesn't process what's written and what's read. You know this. You know this. You know I'm a Ron Burgundy 30%.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
But no, that's awesome. So
yeah,
I'm glad they all had fun.
Well, if any of them come over here, we will definitely set up some games. Even for you, Paulo.
Yep.
Paulo's my first introduction to the AC-20. I have wonderful thoughts, totally not therapy related.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave it at that one. But thank you, Daniel, Thomas, Ian, and Paulo, and Nick for writing in. And sorry for getting stuck in the spam filter. But hey, you pretty much had a whole episode dedicated to me answering your questions. So take that. Anyone else got to say?
No, I'm going to go to bed.
Nope.
Just now that we're back, we
sleepy time in a
we pretty much had March off. What's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to paint, play, game?
I'm going to paint.
Yeah.
Well, I see the paint. I'm probably going to play. I'm going to play on Tuesday. I will be painting at some point this week, though. So play first, then paint.
I unpacked my mechs. They're sorted.
Mm-hmm.
I got a curio cabinet.
Ooh,
a China cabinet that I'm putting miniatures in, as one does. So yeah, I need to paint. Need to paint a mech.
I'm a buy. Maybe a symbol and then paint. Because I'm the worst of all the types. It's like I'm gonna just keep adding to that pile.
My Ares, I bought it at Southern Assault. I'm pretty sure I have an Ares.
I will take your Ares against my Poseidon. We will throw down.
All right.
You know, we skimmed over that part in the Kerenskycon leak / roadmap, and one of the things was
plastic Ares, right?
Plastic Ares configurable to all variants. And I was like,
that's radical.
I was like, I love to hear it, but don't make that promise. I'm not even going to keep that in my thread. I'm not even going to ask Santa for that, because Santa's be like, what color dragon do you want? Karita red, please, every time. All right, and that's us on the MechBay podcast. We can catch us on Facebook at the MechBayPodcast.com, Instagram at the MechBay Podcast, or on Discord at the MechBay Podcast. Stay tuned for episode 69, folks. Buckle up.